This is actually in the House budget, not the Senate budget. So I've been assigned this question.
Clarification.
So the Citizens Election Program is, we instituted how many years ago?
2008.
Okay. To provide public finance. I guess the basic answer to your question is people are looking for ways to save money. And it's expensive. I mean, when the governors are going to run, governors who qualify get $6 million. Gubernatorial candidates who are going to be on the ballot get $6 million. And plus, with this election coming up, where there's likely to be so many candidates on the ballot, I think they might get $1 million. No, but they get a lot of money. So it's an expensive program. I mean, I think if we were not in a budget crisis, I don't think that would be being looked at. But that's really what it comes down to. And if you have to cut programs, say for instance, like we were talking about, like restricting access to group homes for adults with intellectual disabilities, or using tax money to pay for politicians' campaigns, which ones do you choose? And these are the tough decisions you have to make when you're putting the budget together. So there's a lot of bad things, a lot of painful things in that budget. That's just the way. That's unfortunately just the situation we find ourselves in, and we have to cut. I mean, the issue about being ineffectual, I think there might be referring to a senatorial candidate a few years ago who qualified for public financing, but then had basically people he knew send lots of money to the local Democratic town committees, who then spent a lot of money on his behalf. So I think when you use the word ineffectual, I think they're probably referring to examples like that. I mean, we're all Republicans. We're in the minority. Incumbents tend to do better in elections, so getting rid of the Citizens Election Program on balance would benefit Democrats, not Republicans. But Amy, the point is, no one's happy about getting rid of that or getting rid of really lots of stuff that's in there. It's a financial decision based on the crisis we're in.
So you wouldn't consider reform, you would just cut it?
I would consider anything.
Let me give a point of clarification. This is what the nuance of it is. The House Republican has their line-by-line budget, which is what you're all reading. The Senate Republican provided theirs, and we make different cuts and allocations. But we went through that exercise with campaign finance reform, and it was in essence a recognition that the inception of it was to bring more parity into the discussion. But that entire spirit has changed dramatically since Citizens United as a Supreme Court decision, because what has occurred in the successive years is, even though there wasn't a cut in the program, there was incredible alterations in regards to independent expenditures. What was just cited earlier was a exploitation of the spirit of citizens' election to the point that outside money are putting undue influences on that. So I think the reality is, no, I don't think we should get rid of it, but let us be honest to say that whoever is tweaking this to the benefit of people in power should recognize and be exposed for what they're doing. So the citizens' election is not perfect.
But that's not a reason to completely eliminate the program.
I can offer you this: the Senate Republican did not.
People.
The Senate Republican did not eliminate it, and that's maybe the differences.
Well, let me speak to the fact that I've had more than a couple of controversial votes that put me in hot water in my caucus. One of them, and a lot of it had to do with Jody Rell. Jody Rell was on at a time when the state was really in serious ethical problems. And one of the things was the hallmark of her the years there was to really reform campaign finance dramatically. And she put on this very new, very innovative public financing of campaigns. She needed help on her side of the aisle, so she called me. So I was one of those that put my hand up and said yes. And I agree with you that it does allow those that can't easily afford to be able to be a part of the system. There's no question now, since then, it has been changed, and not in a good way, to the point where she had to publicly state how disappointed she was, because it used to be that no lobbyist could donate to anyone using public financing, and now they can, because the Democratic leadership wanted it, and the League of Women Voters fought against that, actually. And so did I. I was very, very unhappy about that. Another one was the global warming bill. So, shoot me if you want to. I'm a tree hugger. There's no question. And so there's a lot, but when it comes to money, there's probably nobody that is more conservative than I am. And we can debate about